2025 edition of King's News Broom. 45-minute news about Liberia and elsewhere. I'm Stephen Compton, Angarin. In the headlines, House of Representatives cite National Public Health Institute of Liberia for update on reported outbreak of monkeypox in parts of Liberia, says NGO authorities' appearance will provide public awareness strategy to roll out response for the outbreak. National Imam Council of Liberia accuses the national legislature of continuing malfunction, poor representation, and misallocation of national resources. The Imam Council, through its Secretary General Mohammed Konen, calls for the immediate dissolution of the national legislature, describe it as total liability. Maryland County District 1 lawmaker and House of Representatives Chair on Ways, Means and Finance Committee re-emphasizes the urgent need for the appearance of the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force. Representative P. Mark Jurich says the lack of official report raises serious concern. And away from Liberia, the United Nations top code has sided with Equatorial Guinea in the road of with Gabon over three islands in potentially oil-rich waters. And that's where Israel has announced it will allow a big amount of food to enter Gaza to ensure that no starvation crisis deepens. After blockading the territory for 10 weeks, details of these developments, the news bulletin, and the actual voices of the news makers are all packaged. We are taking a very short break to be right back. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. Up next is the bulletin of news with Newton Tokba.
The House of Representatives have ordered the National Public Health Institute of Liberia to appear before its plenary this Tuesday to provide an update on the reported outbreak of the monkeypox virus across the country. On Sunday, the National Public Health Institute of Liberia and the Ministry of Health announced an outbreak of the monkeypox virus in the country and confirmed 4 active cases. The House's decision was reached during a leadership meeting held on Monday following the health authorities' pronouncement of the re-emergence of the virus in some parts of the country. NPHL Director General's appearance, according to the House's communication Monday, is aimed at providing an understanding on the current status of the outbreak, response strategies being implemented, and the level of preparedness by the institution, among other things. The release added that NPHL's boss appearance would also provide lawmakers an opportunity to assess resource needs, interagency coordination, and public awareness strategies to be rolled out in response to the outbreak. The National Imams Council of Liberia has condemned what it described as the continuous malfunction of the Liberian legislature, citing poor representation and the misallocation of national resources as critical failures affecting the nation's progress. Speaking at a press conference on Monday in Monrovia, the Secretary General of NICOP, Mohammed Konen, speaking on behalf of the National Muslim Council of Liberia, outlined the council's vision for a radical restructuring of the country's democratic process. According to Konen, the institution is advocating for a more inclusive national governance structure. The council's proposal calls for direct participation in the policy discussion by broader cross-section of Liberian society, including elders, women, youth, and professionals through a formalized annual national dialogue. The statement also emphasized that the council's role as the recognized representative body of the Muslim community in Liberia. He urged both domestic stakeholders and international partners to engage directly with NICO on matters affecting Liberian Muslims, citing Islamic tradition and scriptures as the basis for the council's legitimacy. It further reaffirmed NICO's commitment to peace, national unity, and sustainable development, aligning with the General Assembly's broader theme of Islamic values guiding social change. Amidst major concerns over the performance of asset recovery and property retrieval task force, Maryland County District 1 representative and chairman of the Hostess Committee on Waste, Means and Finance has re-emphasized his calls for the appearance of the assets recovery team before the full plenary of the House of Representatives. Addressing reporter at the Capitol Building office Monday, Representative P. McJury said it is important that the task force present a detailed and official report of its operation, including achievements and challenges since its establishment under Executive Order Number 126. The Horses Waste, Means and Finance Chair and the Asset Recovery Team, which is being financed through the national budget, should be accountable to the Liberian people and must provide transparency regarding its year-long activities. Representative Jewett noted that although President Joseph Walker extended the task force mandate in March through Executive Order Number 145, there is yet or formal update to report presented to the legislature or the public. The Meriden County lawmakers stress that a lack of official communication from the task force raises serious concerns among both lawmakers and citizens, despite the administration's commitment to promoting accountability. It further highlighted that while the media reports the information have cited the task force involvement in new corruption investigations and recovery efforts. Such unverified claims cannot replace the need for formal documentation and presentation. The summary of the task force, according to Representative Jure, reflects growing legislative interest in ensuring that the institutions funded by the public money are held accountable and deliver measurable results in line with the mandates. The Commissioner General designate at the Liberian Immigration Service has vowed to reform the LRS and provide security overhaul at all borders across the country. Speaking Monday before the Senate Committee on Defense and Security, Commissioner General designate Elijah Rufus said when confirmed, he would ensure the adequate transformation of the LRS, including improve border security and modernize operations across all Liberian borders. He emphasized the critical role of the LRS is safeguarding the country's various points of entrances and pledged to restore public trust at the entity through professionalism, transparency, and public engagement. The LRS Commissioner designate also stressed the need for continued collaboration with the armed forces of Liberia and the Liberian National Police and other security apparatus to strengthen regional security operations. And further assured the Senate Committee on Defense and Security constructing residential quarters for LRS officers and a crackdown on undocumented migrants in Bong, Nima, and Grand Jida counties and other parts of the country. Commissioner Destiny Elijah Rufus also disclosed that in 2024, the LIS entered a non-binding memorandum of understanding with Smart Block Company for the development and implementation of broader modernization across the country. President Joseph Boakai has issued a firm reminder to his cabinet minister that the nation's resources are not for personal direction or discretion, but are entrusted for the sole benefit of the Liberian people. Speaking Monday at the cabinet retreat held at the executive mansion, President Boakai emphasized the importance of responsible governance, institutional integrity, and renewed sense of urgency in public service. According to President Boakai, it is the prerogative of his administration to decide how the resources are allocated and used. He stressed the critical importance of follow through on directives and need for consistent execution of assigned responsibilities. The Liberian leader's statement reflects a growing frustration over inefficiencies and lack of responsiveness in various arms of government. He warns that small lapses cause larger consequences, singular a desire to tighten operational discipline across ministries. President Boakai reiterated the core priorities of his administration: education, healthcare, and infrastructure as sectors where institutionally focus and funding must be channeled appropriately. The Liberian leader noted that his cabinet ministers must act with renewed urgency, accountability, and collective responsibility or risks eroding public trust. Several beneficiaries of former President George Weah Housing Unit project in Massachusetts, Salala District, Bond County, have extended thanks and appreciation to the former librarian leader for constructing those housing units. The citizens who were previously living in thatched huts are now living in the modern two-bedroom apartments, something they say it is the first of its kind to enjoy such facility, and they have never dreamed of living in buildings of such. They pledged their unfinishing support to the former Liberian leader, vowing that they will leave no stone unturned comes 2029 to vigorously campaign for him to come back to the presidency to continue these developments. The citizen further noted that based on the uniqueness of those units, their area can easily be located by strangers and passerby. It can be recalled in 2023, former President George Weah constructed several housing units as a way of dignifying less fortunate and underprivileged Liberians. A non-profit organization, Wikia Foundation, is calling on the Liberian government to reopen a historic Bele Yala prison compound as not a detention center for political prisoners, but as a rehabilitation facility for disadvantaged youth and individuals involved in drug-related offenses. Speaking during the organization's 33th anniversary celebration and the induction of a new board member of the We Care Foundation in Morovia Monday, the program manager of the organization, Yunin Wia, stressed the need for the Belayala Prison Center to be transformed into a center for second chances. The foundation program manager further proposed incorporating a robust agricultural program into the facility to aid in the rehabilitation process to maintain the just users stay for 5 to 10 years at the center. Denise Grando, who gave an overview of the foundation's work, highlighted several initiatives, including Spirit Hours for Kids and the Family Literacy Initiative, the Girl Accelerated Learning Initiative, and We the Care Library. The foundation, he said, has trained over 100 librarians, established 90 libraries in schools and communities, and distributed more than 356,000 books nationwide. And dozens of survivors of the 2023 December 26th tanker explosion in Bond County over the weekend staged a peaceful protest in demand of what they called comprehensive financial report or of monies collected during the explosion. Presented a petition in Totota Salala district, the group spokesperson Ali Kone said the situation has affected the community, leading to the loss of many lives and countless injuries, which have left families shattered in a need for urgent assistance. On December 26, 2023, a tragic accident occurred in Totota involving a gasoline tanker belonging to God's Willing Business. The tanker, which was carrying 9,000 gallons, resulted to a catastrophic fire explosion, resulting to the loss of several lives and caused injuries to several others. Following the incident, a special body called Bond County Total Fire Disaster Management Team was established under the leadership of Representative Mama Brice Mensa, representative of District Number 6, Bond County. The committee was tasked with the responsibility to receive funds and make appropriate expenditure on behalf of the Total Fire victims, but the protesters have since said they are yet to receive funds that were made available for them.
Would like to say many thanks to Topa for the news bulletin is a regular feature on King's News Broom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and elsewhere. One of our top developments, National Imam Council of Liberia accuses the National Legislature of continuing malfunction, poor representation, misallocation of national resources. The Imam Council, through its Secretary General Mohammed Khan, calls for the immediate dissolution of the National Legislature. Describe it as a total liability. We are taking a very short break to be right back. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. Let's now take our first development. The National Imams Council of Liberia has condemned what it described as a continuing malfunction of the Liberian legislature, citing poor representation and misallocation of national resources as critical failure affecting the nation's progress. Speaking at the press conference on Monday in Monrovia, the Secretary General of Nicole Mohammed Khan, speaking on behalf of the National Muslim Council of Liberia, outlined the council's vision for radical restructuring of the country's democratic process. According to Khan, the institution is advocating for a more inclusive national governance structure.
The National Imam Council of Liberia notes with dismay the continuous malfunction of the first branch of government, namely the national legislature, to ensure proper representation and appropriation of available resources to critical national needs and save the state from further embarrassment. The council calls for the overhaul of the governance system with the current system of representation replaced by a more relevant, economical, and effective one that allows for proper democratic participation. For example, the National Imam Council believes that representatives of elders, women, and youth from every electoral district in the country, joined by representatives of professional bodies like the National Bar Teachers Association, among others, could sit for about 6 weeks annually to discuss the president's agenda for the year. 4. The National Imam Council of Liberia calls on government and other stakeholders to be sensitive to the timing of national programs that fall on Fridays. Programs could be planned to either be concluded before May Day or commence after 2:30 in the afternoon. 5. The National Imam Council of Liberia calls on the government once again to declare holidays for Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. The council is convinced that such a declaration will give true meaning to the celebration of National Unification Day, as it will create greater patriotism in young Muslims in particular and the population at large. It's the hope of the National Imam Council of Liberia that this unifying action will begin with the Eid al-Adha prayers in early June this year.
He further reaffirmed NICO's commitment to peace, national unity, and sustainable development that align with the General Assembly's broader theme of Islamic value guiding societal change.
Peace and blessings be upon his holy prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his progeny, and all of those who follow his examples to the restoration. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Resolutions of the 2025 Annual Assembly of the National Imam Council of Liberia, Unity Mosque, Fish Market, Cinco, Monrovia. In observance of her 30th anniversary, the National Imam Council of Liberia convened a General Assembly with the participation of imams from 14 of Liberia's 15 counties. The 3-day event included Quranic reading and prayers for the nation, an elaborate opening ceremony and deliberations on matters affecting the National Imam Council and the country. After thorough discussions on pertinent issues, the 30th Anniversary Assembly adopted the following resolutions. 1. The National Imam Council of Liberia expressed great thanks to the government of Liberia, members of the diplomatic community, the Liberia Council of Churches, and all others whose participation in the 30th Anniversary celebration made it a success. The Council assures the government and all stakeholders of our commitment to the promotion of peace and development in Liberia. 2. The National Imam Council of Liberia reaffirms her dedication to the trust given by Allah to serve as leaders and guides of the Muslim Ummah. It acts explicitly and emphatically enshrined in the primary sources of Islam, namely the Quran and tradition of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In the light of this fact, the Council calls on all Muslims, the government of Liberia, the diplomatic community, and other institutions, groups, and individuals desirous of interacting with the Muslim community on religious matters to work with the natural and legitimate leaders of Islam, the Imams, through the National Imam Council of Liberia.
Mohamed Conan is the Secretary General of the National Imam Council of Liberia there speaking. The House of Representatives have ordered the National Public Health Institute of Liberia to appear before its plenary this Tuesday to provide an update on the reported outbreak of the monkeypox virus across the country. On Sunday, the National Public Health Institute of Liberia and the Ministry of Health announced an outbreak of the mpox virus in the country and confirmed 4 active cases.
In the last 72 hours, Liberia celebrity, and I will say celebrity because if it happened in the West, it will be a big thing for them. We, in recent times, saw the upsurge of mpox cases in neighboring Sierra Leone. There was a program, an event held there where he participated and performed. And according to what he explained on the internet, you all got an explanation. I don't need to go through that. You saw what has been circulating. We want to thank him highly. Because why? It takes courage. So we want to really thank him. We have a well-known celebrity in this building. I'll tell you, I will not call the name. This celebrity comedian came out to say what he had, what's happening to him, what he felt, and how it was being treated, and how he was now treating it at home, rocking the chalk and everything. To alert our surveillance officers, the county health officers, we sent the team, the combined team went, we located the patient, extracted samples, took the samples to the National Reference Lab just yesterday. So within these less than 36 hours, we've done all of that. The samples came in and many other samples came in and they were tested. Out of the many samples that were tested, we saw that 3 of those samples, we sent those results out already. We have 1 positive case still, 1 active case. So these 3 added to that gave us now 4 active cases because those are confirmed. We confirmed by testing. And that testing is called molecular testing for this kind of disease. Between now and next week, we'll be receiving more samples. So we'll be testing still. So the number may remain like that. The number may increase. But as of today, we have 4 active cases of mpox in Liberia. We have 7 recovered cases. So the total number we have now, 4 plus 78 is what? 81 cases. We have today 81 cases. You also may have heard that there was a reported case from the military. These cases that we are talking about, that was already known before these other cases. So that one case you saw that probably may have been that case. And the EPI, the extended program on immunization, and we got the vaccines in country. We went through all the regulatory things that we needed to do, and we started vaccination.
Envio Boss there speaking. And now to this next development. President Joseph Boyka has issued a reminder to his cabinet ministers that the nation resources are not for personal discretion, but are entrusted for the sole benefit of the Liberian people. Speaking Monday at a cabinet retreat held at the Executive Mansion, President Boyka emphasized the importance of responsible governance, institutional integrity, and a renewed sense of urgency in public service. According to the Liberian president, it is the prerogative of his administration to decide how resources are allocated and used.
And there is an argument when we're going to take it down. And if they insist we're going to go further, the way by the world is to $5 for a car. That's a case against the country. So he wants all to go into the movement, but that 20% I'm rating should come to government and government will decide who we go to. They have decided who we go to, and one of the ladies that was benefiting died. We will take that 20%, government will use it for the purpose of the country. So I just want to let you know, LRA, that should come to your full attention. That government that should go to public fund. One issue is that somebody minister and people are traveling, they write letter when they are already on the way or already home. Whether you are corporate entity or so, you are supposed to have permission to travel. As a matter of fact, most of them are all traveling, government funds, is they think about travel also. But I see ministers travel even in places where you're supposed to send another person. They themselves travel from one trip to the other. I believe we want to learn about that where people will learn to look at that so you know, you can go to this, and then you go to the other one, you go to the other one. I think we should learn to do that. So please, some trip that somebody recommended to we should be getting a chance to advocate and systems to expose that. I do see that a lot of cabinet ministers not attend public functions. Those are the functions we go to. I don't know whether they matter that we only encourage presence in most cases. We encourage the public to know that we are working with them. It's not something that I have to announce, but I think it is unfortunately for us. Yeah, most of our ministries in one building that we just try to back in and see how things are going to expect how we do that. And the other thing is project implementation. You will see as the time passes that a lot of funds that are allocated for institutions, we don't pay attention to it. And I'm seeing this with some of the ministries, we get a lot of agriculture.
Liberian President Joseph Boyka there speaking. Amid major concerns over the performance of the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force, Maryland County District 1 representative and chairman of the House's Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance has re-emphasized a call for the appearance of the Asset Recovery Thing before the full plenary of the House of Representatives. Addressing reporters at the Capitol Building office Monday, Representative P. Mark Druid said it is important that the task force to present a detailed and official report of its operations, including achievements and challenges since its establishment on an Executive Order number 126. The House's Ways, Means, and Finance Chair said the asset recovery thing, which is being financed through the national budget, should be accountable to the Liberian people and must provide transparency regarding its year-long activities.
The President, through Executive Order 126, established the Asset Recovery Entity. And this entity was closed with the mandate to go in search, recover, find out what is stolen from Liberia. And from last year to this year, we also realized on the same date, March 5th, this year, the President renewed through Executive Order 145 the mandate of the asset recovery. And for every entity to survive and operate in Liberia, they depend on the budget. And so it's the people's or the taxpayers' money that we allocate to these entities to work. And after having worked for 1 year, executive orders, and so the president did a good job by extending. The reason is the mandates are important. And so we haven't heard from this asset recovery. And so I thought it necessary that they should come up with their report, whether it's temporary, whether it is midterm, whatever it is, we need to hear from the asset recovery. What have they found? What have they recovered? What is yet to come to Liberia? Because they are being established, they have been financed, and let them tell us the successes that they have achieved. If there are challenges, let them tell the Liberian people. And if there is need for further extension of their mandate, then we'll understand. But since then, they haven't said anything to the public. I heard one radio talk show on which they appear and they were trying to make some comments. But as the people's deputy, so the people's deputies have called them and they should appear on Thursday to let the Liberian people know what they have achieved since the establishment of that entity. And that is why I thought it necessary to bring them to plenary. I think there are procedures to whatever information they are going to discover. First thing, we want to know what they have discovered. Let them officially tell the Liberian people. And if that has to be extended to our judiciary system, then the judiciary system can take over, because it's not witch hunting. It's establishing these missing assets, either liquid or infrastructures, these missing assets, to establish that they are really taken away against the will of the Liberian people. And so the court process will have to be involved.
That's Maryland County District 1 Representative P. Marjorie there speaking. Well, we've half an hour past the news presentation now. There's a reminder you are listening to the Monday, May 19, 2025 edition of King's News Broom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and the rest of our one globe. We are taking a very short break to be right back. Welcome back. Let's continue with more developments. The Commissioner General Designate at the Liberia Immigration Services has vowed to reform the LRS and provide security overhaul at all borders across the country. Speaking Monday before the Senate Committee on Defense and Security, Commissioner Designate Elijah Rufus said when confirmed, he will ensure the adequate transformation of the LRS, including improved border security and multi-layered operation across all Liberian borders. He emphasized the crucial role of the LRS in safeguarding the country's various border points and pledged to restore public trust at the entity through professionalism, transparency, and public engagements.
It is with great humility, gratitude, and a profound sense of duty that we appear before this august body in pursuit of confirmation. Commissioner General of the Liberian Immigration Service, following our nomination by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia. We are fully aware of the significance of this nomination, not just as a position of trust, but a solemn obligation to lead a critical institution at the front lines of our national security and development. The Liberian Immigration Service plays an incredible role in ensuring that our borders are secure, our laws are respected, and our country remains a place of lawful migration and cooperation within the sub-region. Having served this institution in various capacities, we are deeply aware of the critical role the LIS plays in safeguarding our national sovereignty, protecting laws, migration, and ensuring that our borders remain secure, yet welcoming legal travel and migration. Let us firstly thank the Almighty God, the God from whom all blessings flow, for making this day possible. Also, we'd like to thank His Excellency President Joseph Yomabaka for our preferment. We also like to thank our family for all of the support over the years. The Liberian Immigration Service, especially so the many commissioners whose mentorship has brought in thus far our vision. If confirmed, we will dedicate ourselves to the realization of clear and forward-looking vision to transform the Liberian Immigration Service into a modern, transparent, professional, and intelligence-led institution that effectively manage migration, safeguard national borders, and contribute to national development by ensuring revenue generation, capacity, and regional integration. This vision reflects our commitment to reform, modernization, and inclusive leadership.
Commissioner Designate Elijah Rufus also disclosed that in 2024, the LRS entered a non-binding memorandum of understanding with Smart Block Company for the development and implementation of border modernization across the country.
In December of 2024, the LRS entered a non-binding memorandum of understanding with a Italian-based company called Smart Block at the development and efficient implementation of border modernization through Smart Border Solution for the Republic of Liberia under a zero investment model. On this project, we will introduce surveillance technologies such as CCTV, biometric system, etc., as strategic border points. This will be complemented by stronger cooperation with all security entities, including the Armed Forces of Liberia, the National Security Agency, Liberian National Police, and all security actors in the country. We will also prioritize the construction of residential quarters. The construction of residential quarters for LIS assigned officers across the country is urgently imperative. To facilitate the implementation of this project, we have written various superintendents, including the Land Authority, about the significance of this project and requesting land space thereof, many of whom have responded positively. Additionally, we have begun gathering and collecting intelligence on the influence of Burkinabes and other undocumented aliens in several affected counties to include Bong, Nimba, Rangina, River G, and Maryland counties. We will work closely with the authorities of these counties as well as relevant government entities for their cooperation support in the LRS draft to document all these migrants, adequately advise the government the way forward. We have prioritized the recruitment, professional training, and career development of LIS professional or personnel. A modern immigration service must be built on the foundation of discipline, ethics, continuous learning. We will work towards the refurbishing and revamping of the Liberian Immigration Service Training Academy in Foya Lofa County, standardize our human resource development. We will develop a comprehensive reform of legal migration and documentation processes consistent with international best practice.
Dozens of survivors of the 2023 December 26 tanker explosion in Bond County over the weekend staged a peaceful protest in demand of what they called comprehensive financial report of monies collected during the explosion. Presenting the petition in Tututa Salala district, the group spokesperson Aliyu Konan said the situation has affected the community, leading to the loss of many lives and countless injuries, which have left family shelter and in need of urgent assistance.
We have petition statement on behalf of the total fire victims, date May 17, 2025, to the officers of the Rumuma Bridge Mesa Representative District 6 Bond County. Subject, we have urgent call for accountability and support for the victims of the total fire tragedy. We, the honor-signed citizens and concerned individuals of Totota and their broader Savannah district, submit this petition in response to the devastating explosion of a gasoline tanker that occurred on December 26, 2023. This tragedy has affected our community profoundly, leading to the loss of many lives and countless injuries, leaving families scattered and in need of urgent assistance. On December 26, 2023, a tragic incident occurred at Moriba Hill, Upper Road Junction, involving a gasoline tanker described as gone wheeling, carrying 9,000 gallons that resulted in a catastrophic fire explosion. The explosion led to the loss of several lives and caused injuries to numerous citizens in this part of Liberia. In the aftermath of the explosion, emergency response teams